All right, let's talk about this offensive rookie of the year. These players have been drafted. We know what teams they're on. Some of them are going to rookie mini camps. So we're going to kind of got an idea of who could be in the best position to produce right away. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through my top 5 guys that I think have the best chance of winning Rookie of the Year. And I'm going to go from 5 down to 1. And then also hit up on some of the honorable mentions. So, honorable mention number 1, I have DK Metcalf from Mississippi. He was my number 1 receiver going into the draft. I know a lot of people really liked him. Some had him as a number 1, our top 10 overall pick. I think there's reasons why he fell. This wasn't the best receiver class, and he ended up going to the bottom of the 2nd round, almost into the 3rd round pick. I think he can have success just because Doug Baldwin's gone. They need a number 1 receiver. They don't have anybody right now, and I think he could be that downfield threat for them. So I could see him putting up some big numbers and thus getting potential Rookie of the Year candidacy. Mecole Hardman from Georgia is another one. Similar type of situation. Instead of Doug Baldwin retiring, we have Tyreek Hill possibly being suspended for the entire year. So I think Mecole Hardman could be a guy that, in an Andy Reid offense with Patrick Mahomes, he's going to have chances to make plays down the field. And I think he's got that shot to, they got, Andy Reid's a good offensive coach. They can scheme him open. He can make some big plays. He doesn't have to put up 1,000 yards in that, but to get offensive rookie of the year. But it's definitely a possibility that could happen, just depending on the situation around him. All right, so my number 5 guy I have is Paris Campbell from Ohio State, receiver going to the Indianapolis Colts. Here's a guy that I would have thought would have been even better fit, like with the Baltimore Ravens, with his ability to fly sweeps and all that. But I think he's going to a good situation with the Colts. They don't have a lot of other, they've got T.Y. Hilton. He's a, I don't think he's a true number 1 receiver, but he's definitely a dynamic playmaker. But other than them, they don't really have a lot. They signed Devin Funchess. So Paris Campbell can definitely be a big play threat for them, an offensive, put him on the outside, run him deep. They can run him on drag routes. They're going to throw the ball a lot. Andrew Luck's arm strength isn't what it used to be, but he still has enough ability to get it downfield. And he will dink and dunk. And if they can get Paris Campbell the ball in space, he's going to put up numbers and he's going to have success. Number 4, I have Deebo Samuel from the San Francisco 49ers. Here's a guy who is a true slot receiver. I kind of molded him in the same breath as a Golden Tate, a guy that you can just, he's going to just, steady Eddie, move the chains, provide some big play. Here's a guy that went to the Senior Bowl and was a big contributor. He was one of the better receivers there, caught everything. He's got big hands. I think you put him in the slot, you move him around. Kyle Shanahan is a very one of the better scheme type coaches. He's going to kind of move guys around and get them open and get them where they need to be. So I think he's going to get a lot of targets. Other guys that he has to compete with, Jordan Matthews, Marquise Goodwin, Dante Pettis. They don't have a lot of true elite receivers. So I think he's got that chance to come in, earn the starting role, be a top target for Jimmy Garoppolo, and kind of control that middle to the intermediate routes. And I think he's going to get a lot of catches. So that's why I think he's going to go that high. Number 3, I have Josh Jacobs from the Oakland Raiders. There's a reason why they drafted him in the 1st round. There's a reason why he was the first running back taken. He's the true elite running back in this class. He can do it all. He can run for power. He can run for speed. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He's not quite as dynamic as like an Ezekiel Elliott or a Saquon Barkley, but he's in that tier just right below. And the Raiders, they need help running the ball. Marshawn Lynch retired again. Their only other guy is Doug Baldwin. And so he's going to probably win that starting job. I mean, I have a lot of faith in him to do that. and he's running behind a relatively good offensive line. You got Colton Miller, who's had an okay rookie year. Incognito is going to be a solid starter for them. Rodney Hudson's a good center. Gabe Jackson's a good right tackle. They got Trent Brown at the right side. So he's going to have a good offensive line to run behind. He's going to get touches. He's going to get carries. I think they're going to want to try and maybe limit what they can do. Antonio Bryant's going to be a guy that they're going to, defenses are going to focus on. I think that's going to free up Josh Jacobs to get some yards on the ground. All right, my number 2 guy I have is N'Keal Harry from the Patriots. I think he, this may be a homer pick. I'm a huge N'Keal Harry fan. But I think he's definitely a guy that has the chance to really make an instant impact. He's a guy that's already getting rave reviews about from minicamp, from OTAs, I should say. Talking about how big and strong he is, talking about how he's picking up the offense, and I think he's going to. He fills a desperate need that they have with Rob Gronkowski retiring. They don't have a contested catch type guy. They've got Philip Dorsett as the speed guy. They've got Danny Amendola. They've got Julian Edelman as their slot guy. They don't really have that type of guy that Gronk was. So I think N'Keal Harry's definitely, going to make an impact right away. I think they're going to limit him initially, but he's going to get a lot of red zone targets. He's going to get the ball a lot. And if he's able to make contested catches and make that early impact in this offense, I think he's going to have a lot of success and have a great shot of winning Rookie of the Year. All right, my pick, my number 1 guy, the guy I think is going to win, my prediction of who's going to win the Offensive Rookie of the Year is going to be David Montgomery, the running back from Iowa State, who was drafted by the Bears. In this whole entire process of him coming, from last summer all the way to be drafted, the one name that I kept comparing him to was Kareem Hunt. Whenever I watched David Montgomery, I saw Kareem Hunt. And so I thought, okay, he might be a good fit for Kansas City, who's looking to replace Kareem Hunt. But instead, he goes to Chicago, where Matt Nagy is, who had a lot of success with Hunt while he was in Kansas City. So the Bears need help at running back. Jordan Howard's gone. He wasn't the best fit in that offense. Left there is Tariq Cohen. They brought in Mike Davis. But I think David Montgomery is going to be their go-to back. Tariq Cohen, you want to get him the ball as much as you can, but he's only going to have a limited amount of catches. So if you can get, you got David Montgomery, a guy that is can do it all. Maybe he doesn't have elite speed, but he's got good contact balance. He's got good lateral agility. He catches the ball well. You can run routes with him. He fits perfectly with what they want to do. So he's got opportunity. He's a perfect scheme fit. A team that's going to be doing well, they've got a good defense, so they're going to have the chance to continue to pound the rock. I think he's got the best shot to win Offensive Rookie of the Year.